pretty sure you can't probably find beer intergalactically.
I'm sure they've got something.
There's water, we can make beer, right?
There's frozen water on Mars. We can colonize it and start growing hops. I bet the soil's great.
Hey there, Amanda here, and welcome to episode 97 of Great Beer Adventure. In today's episode, we drink beer, learn a bit about history, and hear a lot of dad jokes. It's quite the event, so let's get started, shall we? Hey everybody, I am sitting in the Dana Warp Mill in Westbrook, and I've been told that this is a spooky, spooky place, and that noise that you're hearing is actually a giant growler of beer that we are going to be drinking this evening. We're sharing a bunch of beers with a bunch of awesome people. I am sitting in Heidi Geist's amazing new art studio. Let's first start by saying hi to Heidi. And Heidi, you've been on the show before, but can you remind folks who you are and what you do?
Hola, I do art.
That's
End
great.
of story. And I drink beer. I do art with colors. No, I have this great new studio, and it's good for stuff like this, for collaborating and talking with friends and cracking beers, and got a lot of fun projects going on.
Yeah, you say color, but I don't think that really captures the vibrancy of the color that is happening inside this room right now.
Are there words?
There words?
Are there words?
Are there words?
Can you capture it with words?
I don't know. Vibrant, I think, is a good word. We'll go with that, at least adding that piece to it.
It's beautiful.
Also at the table joining us, we have Sean from Banded Horn. Hi, welcome, Sean.
Hi, thank you. Appreciate it.
Quickly tell the audience, this is the first time being on the show, quickly tell the audience who you are and who you're with.
Sure. So I work with Banded Horn Brewing, Biddeford, Maine. Just started with the brewery, actually. Actually, I moved to Biddeford exactly 4 weeks ago to the day. Started working with them the day after, so I'm about 4 weeks in. Moved up from New York, was working with a brewery there and a distributor there as well for a few years. Got to know Ian a little bit over the years, and I had a little bit of a connection with him, Ian McConnell, our founder. And he turns out one of his good friends works with my brother, so sort of got to know each other through that. And so far, so good. It's been great.
So you specifically moved to Biddeford for Banded Horn?
To work with Banded Horn, yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you're okay with the fact that you're here in Maine?
I am very much okay with it. I'm loving the move so far. I absolutely love it.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
I hope you continue to enjoy it. A neighbor of yours is Tom Bull, who's also at the table.
Hi, neighbor. I think that one's already taken, though, right?
It is.
I think,
yeah.
It's a good one, too. I know.
It's a good one, yeah.
You might get a C and D.
Yeah, I've already gotten one. I got one from Budweiser the other day.
Oh, no. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's not good. We'll get into that maybe if you'll share anything with it.
Maybe.
But, Tom, please remind the audience who you are and more about specifically why you're considered Sean's neighbor.
I'm Tom Bull from Dirigo Brewing Company. We are also in Biddeford, Maine. This is like the Biddeford show. I'm here to drink some beer with you.
And we both have creepy basements.
We both have creepy basements in our mills.
As does
in our
Heidi.
respective mills. We're in a
creepy
different mill.
basements.
Yeah. This is like the mill show and the Biddeford show.
From our creepy
but you
mill
live
to
in
yours.
Biddeford and I live in Westbrook, so there's there's all this is going on.
Yes, that is it's a lot of interesting things. Maybe we can do a whole show sometime, like from one of the basements.
No.
What do you think? No.
No, let's not do
I
that.
don't want to do that.
Totally.
Tom's up for
I'm
it.
in.
For everybody else is boomed out. So the last voice that you are hearing is Ashley. Ashley, can you please tell the audience about who you are and, I don't know, what brings you to the beer table today?
Yeah, so I've done a little bit of everything except for brew at this point in the Portland beer scene. I currently work for Austin Street Brewing and spend most of my spare time reviewing and discussing beers on the Instagram.
Like an adult.
Instagram. Like the adult that I am.
The Instagram. Yes.
Yeah, on the Instagram with the kids.
On the interwebs.
That are into the beer these days.
Yeah, I feel like, though, like, to be fair to all of us that hang out on Instagram, that Instagram is, like, actually a little bit more adult than at least Snapchat. I have
Or My Little Pony.
Or My Little... There's a good narrative in those shows.
It's true.
There are good
It's
lessons
true.
to be learned.
I don't
Friendship
know if it's
is magic.
realistic, though. Let's talk about real life here.
It is. Instagram's a little bit more adult. There's a new Snapchat filter that just came out that I got flooded with a bunch of people. They're like dancing in bunny costumes
Oh
or
my
something
God.
like that.
I
So there's
did
proof
do that.
right there.
I do
Yeah.
also have the Snapchat. And I did the bunny one. And to be fair, it was pretty satisfying.
I have the Snapchat on my phone as well. But
The Snapchat.
I do. It's
It's now going to be the Snapchat.
It is, yeah. But what I do is I like go over to Snapchat. I'll use a filter specifically with my 2-year-old because she's really funny with like the goat voice. And there's one where
that
you're
a
like a
thing?
little goat, and then like she says, "I am a baby goat," and it's hysterical. It's really funny. And I just like I
There's
just
one where you
save
can
it.
be like a meerkat right now.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't have the Snapchat. I feel left out.
Who are you kids and why are you on my
damn it.
lawn?
Exactly.
All right, let's get off social media now. That was last week's show. Let's get back into beer. We are here today to drink beer. We're drinking beers in the lager family, or as
Lager.
Lager.
Major. Gosh.
Lagers.
any which way you would like to pronounce it. I think there's probably a technical way to actually pronounce it, but I don't know at this point.
Liar.
Let's not get any of those up in here, though, okay?
Yeah, okay.
You guys, I am going to be so messed up by the end of this show, just trying to say words correctly. Like, I'm not good with pronouncing things normally, and then you just throw fake pronunciations at me.
No,
Just
that,
say,
that was real, actually.
Yeah?
You just have to make sure you put the right emphasis on the right
Flip some out for
syllable.
me as well.
Right.
Yeah, but that's why it's here.
Okay, so the first beer, we pre-gamed with the pills, and we'll get back to the pills. But everybody's now
Taking
drinking.
pills?
We're pre-gaming with pills.
Pre-gaming with pills. All right.
Yeah.
We're
I didn't know it
party
was gonna be
animals.
that kind of party.
It's crazy in here, man.
Oh, I just got that. Anyways, let's move on to Hells.
So
now,
one of
right?
us pre-gamed with
Now
real
we're, now we're
pills.
going to Hells. We pre-gamed with pills and now we're going to Hells.
I just got that, so.
Oh, good. Can I have another
I have
glass?
such a clean,
Iced
non-drug addict's mind. Not mine.
So Hells, my favorite style.
Yes, let's. This is brought to us by you, so you tell us a little bit about this style.
So let's see. Helles is a style that was basically the Germans' answer to Pilsner. Before Pilsner, before the invention of Pilsner, pretty much all beer was Dunkel, which, by the way, we have a little plug. We have a Dunkel coming out on Friday. That's awesome. Schlam Dunkel. Schlam.
Is that because of March Madness?
It's partly because of March Madness. Because
Oh,
of,
now it's my turn. I just
well,
got that
we were
one.
going to call it. Well, see, we were going to call it Slam Dunkel, but of course that was already taken.
Oh, was it?
So then I was like, oh, all right, well, why don't we call it like mud season? Because it's mud season, and mud season's already taken.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
So then in the back of my head, I was like, well, I wonder what the German word for mud is. And it turns out that the German word for mud is Schlamm.
Wow.
Oh, that is
Perfect.
S-C-H-L-A-M-M.
Go German
So,
word.
yeah, so
Yeah.
Schlamm
Yeah.
Dunkel. So there's a little double entendre there. Anyway, to get back to Helles, before Pilsner, pretty much all beer was Dunkel. And Pilsner was the first beer that was ever created with light roasted, light kilned malts. And it revolutionized the world. It turned out that Pilsen was at the end of the railroad line. And the conductors all started drinking this beer that was made in Pilsen, and they spread it across Europe like wildfire. And that's how light beer or light colored beer spread across Europe. And Helles came out of that as a response, kind of the Munich response to Pilsners. It's not nearly as bitter as a Pilsner. And the term Helles refers to the color or the brightness of the beer. Helles means bright in German. So when you look at this beer, it should be really clear and really bright. We actually filter this beer, and it makes a huge difference. The first couple batches we find, and then we got our filter in and started filtering it. And it just makes such a big difference in the flavor characteristics of that beer and the clarity.
Do you filter a lot of your beers, or just this one?
Just the Helles, really. Yep. We do use some finings. I try to use vegan finings, biofine, and that kind of thing. Not isinglass, fish bladder.
Fish, yeah.
But this is the only beer that we've filtered so far. So.
And that concludes the education for the night. Goodbye.
The education period's over. Time to start drinking.
It's. I mean, if you didn't tell me differently, I would think it was apple juice, like color-wise.
Mm-hmm. Color-wise, yeah, especially in this light.
In this light.
Definitely.
It's
yes,
more.
I did that on purpose.
It's a real golden. Yeah, it's a pretty yellow, golden, clear color. Yeah.
Is it pretty traditional the way that you brewed it?
Very traditional, yeah. I try and do very traditional ways of brewing and old historical styles of beer. That's kind of my focus. So it's very traditional. This is about a 7-week turnaround from grain to glass. It goes down and takes a nice long nap at 32 degrees and clears right up and then gets filtered and becomes bright and goes into my belly. Get in my belly!
So when would this generally be, like, is there a season that is more of a Helles season? Or
I do Helles all year round.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's a killer summer beer. We're hopefully by the end of April, this beer is going into 16-ounce cans for summertime.
Nice.
So ice cold in summer, it's going to be.
Yeah. I want that
a
in
wiener.
my mouth hole. Yeah. That sounds really good. I think it's also important to touch on, like, for people not listening who might not be overly familiar with, like, the difference between ales and lagers, that when you said it was a 7-week turnaround, that, like, for a lager, that's on the more standard side, whereas, you know, ales, people like Gary's can brew a beer and have it grain to glass in, like, 7 days if they really kind of push their yeast.
Yeah.
And that lager actually comes from a German word meaning to store. So the whole purpose of this, like, these beers are all beers that kind of take a little longer.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I found a really cool thing out the other day that if you go to Germany, someone's camp or cottage is called their lager. So I thought it was a cool use of the term.
So they go
well.
store themselves.
You go store yourself. Yeah, you can take a nap, right?
Yeah. I need about 7 lagers.
Yeah.
Spread out across the country.
Yes. Randomly throughout the
You
world.
rotate between them so that your small spawns can't find you.
Yeah, I will only tell them about a couple of them.
Yeah.
Like, these are acceptable lagers for the children to join. Those are not for you to know about the rest of them.
What do you think about the beer? What are your thoughts?
I think it's delicious.
I think it's very smooth going down. I agree. In the summer, I'm happy about that. I'm happy that you'll be canning this.
Happy that you can get it in your mouth hole.
Yes, yes, my mouth hole will be happy. Yeah, that is. I think it's very, very refreshing, and is a little toasty in here, especially sitting all snugly up.
Right.
It's all right.
But it's gotten a flavor all year round, I think.
Yeah,
it would definitely.
Yeah, it's just a nice, easygoing beer.
Yeah.
There's nothing. The one thing I think that really, I don't know, I pat myself on the back about for this beer is that there's nowhere to hide in a beer like this. You can't.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't throw
Not
a bunch of
masking
hops at it.
anything.
You can't throw a bunch of malt at it. You can't. If there's a flaw in that beer, you're gonna know.
You're gonna taste it.
So, yeah, it's real evident if there's a flaw.
I think this will kind of apply to all of the beers that we're going to talk about tonight too, but I feel like I want to mention that there seems to be like a misconception with lagers and lighter beers like this that they're only good for warmer weather, and that's just not true at all. I mean, this is a beer like this, and I'm assuming all the beers that we're going to have tonight are, these are good at any time.
I feel like that's like the AB and Bev Miller Coors kind of marketing effect. Like you get hit with that marketing, like, oh, you drink light lagers to tailgate and it's warm out and doing manly things with your man friends while you're watching sports ball when it's warm out.
Right.
Ball. I think that's like a very common because of like the huge marketing push from these larger companies.
Exactly.
For me, what it is like I really actually enjoy some stouts and stuff during the colder months because I like feeling like a hug from the inside. Like I really enjoy. Me too. I enjoy my coffee and I enjoy my dark beers. But it's like a little tiny hug that somebody's just like, whoa, and you're like, thanks. It really sucks out today. Thank you very much. This is a good hug.
Yeah,
so,
there's definitely exceptions to the rule. And especially in Maine, we have those ice cold July, gray, rainy days. You know what I mean? But as a general rule of thumb, you don't want to drink an 8.2 Baltic Porter on July 4th. You know what I mean?
Exception over here.
Yeah.
There may be a few exceptions.
Here's another thing too: is that what's available, I think, pushes people into those little corners too. It's like breweries put out a certain style at a certain season, and so everyone has it, and then they get sick of it. So then they move on to the next one. Where maybe if that weren't the case and everything was always available, it might be different. We might be drinking different styles all the time, but
I don't know. I enjoy Pisces by Rising Tide. a lot, and they've started canning it all year round. I'm not drawn to it right now. Like
well, it's kind of like when back in the old days.
It's like beer Gatorade. It's like beer Gatorade, though. Like it's very satisfying when it's
But back in the old days, I mean, Hampshire Ale, the Geary's Hampshire, the motto was available only while the weather sucks. Back in the day. And that's when that was only available in wintertime.
So 9 months out of the year.
And we used to seek it out, and now it's available year round. And I can't tell you the last time I pulled a Tombstone. I mean, they're just not.
I can remember one of the last times it was at an ice bar. There was like an ice bar, and there was like on that. I'm like, ooh, that sounds perfect.
Ice bar, that would be perfect for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this I could see like pairing it with food. Those darker beers you don't necessarily, unless it's like, I don't know. I like milk stouts.
Not to take anything away from stouts.
No, but I'm just saying I don't want to pair that with any food.
Right.
Well, I think the difference is like lagers lend themselves to a variety of pairings because they can be on the, I don't want to say more neutral side because that would kind of imply that they don't have a taste, but that they just tend to be more friendly with a wider variety of flavors, whereas you're drinking like a massive, 10.5% imperial stout aged on like vanilla and oak. There's only so many places you can go, like
well, that's an event in itself, Anyway,
exactly.
Totally.
It's Marshall Wharf Sexy Chaos. Yes, it is, especially a year aged.
Yeah, no, you're right though. They're more versatile and they're better palate cleaners too, or cleansers.
Mm-hmm. It's like the liquid equivalent of eating a cracker or bread between courses, basically.
Yeah.
Well, and
it's light, it's neutral.
Yeah. I was going to say, as it's warming up, you can get more of the biscuit flavor coming through in the back.
Definitely.
Yeah, this Helles is nice. It's kind of like a graham cracker, like a honey graham cracker.
Yeah.
Awesome. That means I did my job.
Yeah. Which is, exactly.
I got honey
too,
but I didn't know if that was an accurate taste, so I was just like, we're going to wait.
Yeah, no, it's totally accurate.
Thank you for saying honey.
Yeah.
You won't hurt anyone's feelings here.
No, not at all.
No, but sometimes you're like, okay, is that a flavor that I'm like really perceiving, or is that something that, my tongue is just
Is it lying?
Is it lying to me? Like, what is this?
That's why it's so fun to talk about it, though, because everyone has a slightly different palate, and we'll pick up on things that other people won't. And some people can plant those thoughts in other people's heads really well.
And they work for the government?
Yes, they do. They want you to taste the biscuit.
So, do you want to go back to the pills? Should we have some pills? Okay, I still am fine. Who else needs some pills?
Oh, I'm good. I've got like 2
I need a little bit of it.
Yeah, so this is Bandit Horn Pepperell Pils. This is one of the beers that really drew me to the brewery. It's one of the first beers that we started making. And going kind of back to what Tom said, in the same regard, this is another beer that you can't hide things in this. You can't hide off flavors, anything like that. So to me, this is really what I want. This is an unfiltered Pilsner. It's a Keller Pils, so it's a little bit different than the Helles. But to me, this is what I really want a Pilsner to taste like. It's very light. It's got really nice herbal notes to it. It's grassy. It's bright. Keller Pils they're unfiltered, so you can see when you look at it. I know people listening can't see, but when you look at it, it's got a little bit of haze. Yeah. It's got a little bit of haze to it. Yeah, that's just, again, because it's unfiltered. But yeah, this is something that really, really drew me to the brewery. And to me, it's something that really showcases what a brewery can do, I think. Because you need to keep these things consistent and clean, and sometimes it's a tough thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can't nail like a very clean, very traditional style, then you shouldn't be experimenting.
Not in this category anyway. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's fine to experiment somewhere else, but if you want to do any of these styles, you got to
get your basics down, like nail those things down.
Yeah. Because
it takes a lot of guts to brew a beer like this. It does.
Right.
It really, there's nowhere to hide, like we said before.
Yeah. I mean, like if it's a big imperial stout, you can kind of throw anything in there, and usually it'll work out sometimes. I mean, you can pick stuff out of. There's bad ones too, of course, but you can hide some more stuff in there. But yeah, these are beers that Yeah, you need to be on point when you're doing them, and they need to be consistent. It's a tough thing to do. So that's why this beer really drew me to the brewery, because it's really well done, and it nailed exactly what I look for in a Pilsner like this.
I don't think that's what most beer drinkers. I don't think a lot of them realize that.
Right.
It's like just an easy, straightforward beer that anyone can make and everyone makes, and it's
I think a lot of people
everywhere.
feel like that about beer at this point, just due to the saturation of like that we're seeing in our market and also in many other parts of the country. That like, well, beer's everywhere. There's breweries popping up left and right. I guess anyone can do it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not really
Not
how
well.
it works.
Yeah.
Not well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, try home brewing. And try.
But even then, the leap from homebrewing to professional
yes,
scale
absolutely.
is
Yeah,
huge.
exactly.
And some of these guys are getting in over their heads. They don't realize what they're up against.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I completely agree with that. But my thing is like, if you think it's easy, just try one batch of home brewing. You'll probably fail. Like
People.
it's probably gonna happen.
But there's also the thing where I'm a home brewer, and so I give my beer to all my friends, and all my friends tell me I should start a brewery. Of course they do. You're giving them free beer.
Yeah.
And I think people really jumped on that bandwagon because they noticed, obviously, it's exploded, and people were investing in it. And one of my previous bosses, I'll give him credit for this, but he used to say this thing. He'd like to run a class. It's called, I opened a brewery, where's my $1 million? Because everybody all of a sudden thought that they were just going to get a bunch of money for opening a brewery, and that's not how it works. I think people are finally catching on to that and realizing that just because you open a brewery doesn't necessarily mean you
you make a small fortune in the brewing industry.
Right, yeah.
Start out with a large fortune. That's how you make a small fortune.
Yeah, it's really funny because I'm coming at beer from a couple different angles. So like I do a beer podcast, so I also deal with the podcasting people. And so when it comes time to talk about monetization, there's two things that people always tell me that I should do, and they both make me laugh. One is, oh, well, you should start a brewery. I'm like, that is so funny. Like, that is not at all how it works. That I can talk into a microphone, okay. That does not mean I should ever start a brewery. And the other one is that I should have the brewery sponsor me. I'm like, have you ever met a brewer? They're great guys, and maybe they'll bring some beer to the table, but they're not sponsoring podcasts.
If only beer was still currency like it was in the Egyptian days.
Right.
Yeah, I'd be really rich, but
That'd be really rich.
I'd have a really big house. I'd just pay everybody in beer.
Be shaped like a pyramid.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, if that's all they can build, I'll take it. If they only specialize in triangles. That's cool.
Although it may be the only one where you can get one beer for another beer. So in a sense, it kind of is,
In the words of Nefertiti, not tonight, it's my pyramid.
Did you just come up with that?
No.
Do you have children? That was a great dad joke.
Oh, funny.
I'm going to be honest, I don't know what that was. I missed it.
Again, you'll get it. About half an hour from now, Amanda's going to go,
think
oh, wait, I got it.
What's going to happen?
No, I hope you don't get it.
What's going to happen is the editor is going to, like, when he listens through it to, like, fix up the show, he's going to send me notes, being like, so this is what Tom meant? I'll be like,
They got a
Justin.
picture of, like, the famous, like, bust of her head. Famously beautiful Egyptian queen. This is helping you at all.
No, but Justin will hook me up.
Okay.
Okay, so I didn't get, like, grassiness.
Okay. That's really coming from hop varieties. This is Herzbrucker hops. It's a German hop. You don't necessarily have to get all of the things that are part of a flavor profile. Mm-hmm. Not everybody picks up the same thing. Some people pick up other things. Grassiness is just something that's typically associated with German German hops. So, yeah, that part of it. If you don't taste it, you might not necessarily taste it. You might not be sensitive to it. It could be a variety of things.
The last sip I took was a lot sweeter. Like, as it warms up, it gets sweeter, is what I found.
Yeah, I think beers will generally change a little bit as they get warmed up. I mean, you taste beer a little bit better as it gets warmed up.
Yeah, that's why it's always so funny to me, like when they bring you the ice cold glasses, like, come out of the freezer, and You can tell that they're really trying hard. Like, if they have decent beers on their menu, like, they're trying hard to get into the craft beer thing. Mm-hmm. They haven't quite nailed it yet. Because you don't want an icy glass.
Right,
for these beers.
I don't know that it's like a common knowledge either. Like, there's so many. I worked for a large area distributor, and I had accounts that were still, like, putting the freezer glasses like out to the public, and like there was one account trying to develop a craft beer program, and I like found a freezer full of glassware, and I was just like, unplug this. No, don't stop.
I think part of that's the mass media or the mass marketing from the big companies too. Again,
plus, prior to 2000, what were you going to drink? Like something macro coming on draft that definitely tastes better. Ice cold, because then you can't taste how bad it tastes.
Well, you drink more of it. And you
if
drink
it's
it
ice cold, or you drink more of it.
It's also
it
goes right along with the whole. I love this one. Our beer is triple hopped. You see that in commercials.
Right.
No
my
kidding,
God!
really?
Hops 3 times. Cold filtered.
Cold filtered. Yeah, you can't filter beer unless it's 33 degrees, 34 degrees.
It has to be cold filtered.
It's.
Or they also advertise that their beer is always cold throughout the process. Well, there's a warm display of it on the on the floor of the grocery store.
Right. Exactly.
This beer seems awfully warm to me at this Hanford.
That's because your mountains haven't turned blue yet.
I was just going to say, I need my Rockies to always be blue.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Well, wait till we get sued now after this.
Yeah. You're going to get like 2 more C&Ds.
They can come after me for all this podcast is worth. They will get a recorder. That's it. So you were saying something about like prior to Pils. What's the relationship between a Helles and a Pils?
They're very, very similar. Really, the key differences between a Helles and a Pils are going to be hop profiles more than anything else. And it was simply the Pils developed in Czechoslovakia. The Germans quickly scrambled to try and come up with an answer to it, and especially in Munich, they probably didn't get the hop profile just right. Using a little bit different hops. I mean, typically it would be Saaz or Hirschbrucker's more of a German Pils hop, but there is a German Pils too. There's actually a northern German Pils and a southern German Pils, and then there's the Bohemian Pils, and then there's the Czech Pils, and then there's all kinds of different versions of Pilsner. American Pils. I mean, there's
So
it really just goes up.
All these Pilses are happening. That's how I'm making a multiples. Pilses are happening, and then. But not some of them are happening in Germany. But the Helles is also...
Helles was more of a Munich. Is where it originated.
Specifically, like one specific region.
One specific region,
but
and then you get into...
I'm not
most of
an idiot, right? That's in Germany, right?
But then you get...
Germany's really big.
No, I know. But I'm just saying, like, it is in there, right?
Then you get into, like, Dortmunders, right? I mean, Dortmunders are basically an export Helles.
Right.
Not a Pils. You're really cutting.
It basically
hairs.
just comes down to regions, really. I mean, that's where. Yeah.
So they're all basically the same, but it's different regional,
different brewers, different hop characteristics,
and
profiles.
Right.
Dialects,
different water,
but with beer.
Right. Or, that's a great way to describe
it.
It's a great way.
Like West Coast, East Coast, Maine IPAs, they're all kind of different, but they're all basically the same. Unless they're orange juice.
It's all the same language, just with a different accent.
It's a perfect way to put it. Yeah.
All right. Do we have any more accents to bring to the table? I think we do.
No.
Yes,
not
we
right
do.
now.
They're behind you.
The show is over.
We're done. So Jack's Abbey is another brewery that does just lagers, right? Isn't that all they do?
Yeah, back when I had the first brewery open, it was us and Jack's. We were the only two in New England that were only doing lagers.
That would be going kind of way off, so maybe that.
Okay.
We're going to finish everything in the fridge, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
Because we're
probably not tonight.
Fridge.
Unless you guys are sleeping up.
Right, we'd all be stuck here in the haunted...
I do have more pillows than
I'll call someone on the Uber.
The Uber.
Actually, Facebook was originally the Facebook, right?
It was.
So there's one that actually it works
What?
for.
Was it the Facebook?
Yeah.
You're making that up?
I'm pretty sure.
Nope, it actually was.
I think they mention it in the movie with Jesse Eisenberg and what was it called? Oh, The Social Network. Yeah. I think they mentioned it in that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I do still call it the Facebook.
The Facebook. The Walmart.
And I also pluralize the internets. I am a 60-year-old, 35-year-old woman.
Well, there are several internets. They interconnect.
Yeah, but it's just
a
the
web of
internet.
interconnections.
Sometimes if I'm feeling real fancy, I'll call it the interwebs.
The interwebs are great. If you're feeling
Lattice work
squirrely.
of collective unconsciousness.
Whoa.
Really deep.
The more we drink, the crazier.
How come the lifeguard didn't save the hippie?
Oh, God.
Oh, goodness.
Because he was too far out, man.
You are full.
Wow.
Full of dad jokes. This is great.
Oh, you're recording
We
that.
are recording this, literally. That's what we're here
It's
for.
going to be like a dad joke off.
There is a podcaster that just will get on Facebook and he will only do dad jokes. So you guys might need to go head to head. I might need to introduce you and just see who has the best dad jokes.
I only know a few clean ones.
That's like the whole point of a dad joke, though.
I
They're
know, that's the
really
whole point
corny.
of a dad joke.
All right, wait, what are we drinking?
I like
Dad
math
jokes.
jokes.
You're drinking.
everybody
All
get
right, so
some?
this is Saxony lager. So this is a whole new style now. We've jumped in lager styles.
Okay, so the Helles and the Pils are related, and they're lagers, but we're now into a different lager
Yep.
that's nothing to do with Pils or Helles.
Nothing to do with Pils or Helles.
So this is not even a different dialect. This is
This is a different style.
just a different style.
Yep. And so the style classically known here is VMO, Vienna Märzen Oktoberfest.
Oh.
So this is technically, it would be an Oktoberfest style.
Sorry.
An Oktoberfest style of beer. This is a Vienna, so primarily made with Vienna malts. It's going to be a lot richer, a little more syrupy. I haven't even tasted it yet.
Yeah.
A little sweeter.
So I have a question. This says it's a Keller beer. Didn't you say that was a Keller Pils? What's
That's a Keller?
It
It says Keller
It
on
does,
the
wow.
top of the can, but
Interesting.
then it says Saxony Lager and then Vienna style.
Yeah, so I'm not sure about that. I don't.
So what
more.
is Keller itself?
Keller means unfiltered. Keller means
Yeah.
it's coming right out of the tank.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't necessarily have to correlate. There can be other things that are Keller as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Keller just
Keller
means
Williams.
Keller Williams.
Yeah.
Keller just
The
means
musician and
seller.
the real estate agent.
Oh, is there a musician?
Oh, we should jump back to Hells for a second
Jump back to hell all you
because
want.
I forgot because we just released a new style called IP Hells.
That's great.
I kid you not, IP Hells.
That sounds like
Instead
a
of
really bad
IPL,
night.
instead of IPL.
Do you have the artwork for that
It
yet?
wasn't taken. We have a little bit, but nothing positive, nothing yet. Nope.
I know an
So,
artist.
yeah, I know an artist too. We should talk. So IP Hells, we're taking the lager that we had earlier. I pull off a small amount once a week, and then on Sunday, and we dry hop it. And on Sundays, we release that week's brew. So this week we did 10 gallons of Helles dry hopped with Mandarina Bavaria, which is a beautiful.
I want that.
Oh, it's awesome! Beautiful, citrusy, gorgeous German hop. So it's back to
I'm
the
so
Helles
glad you
category.
live in Westbrook. Just saying.
Me too. Yeah, definitely. We should talk about tomorrow. That'd be awesome.
That's a really interesting name. Mandarina Bavaria.
Mandarina Bavaria. It's actually a German-grown, real, fresh, juicy, citrusy, gorgeous hop, which is not my usual thing to play with. You know what I mean?
No.
But
That
I
sounds
love
really
it.
naughty.
It's hops. It's really a beautiful, beautiful profile. So
Speaking of hops, do you know what happens to a hop plant if you stress it out?
Oh, God. Oh, no. Now
Wait,
it's
is
coming
this-
from
hold
this
on.
end.
Is this?
I
This
don't know
is
what.
not a joke. This is the for reals thing.
Okay.
Oh, do you have a hot plant you're treating poorly?
Yeah.
No,
Yelling
but
at
back on episode 7, we recorded in a hop field, like the hop yard.
You stressed them out.
Ryan was telling us that if you stress out a hop plant, so all hops are females, but if you stress out a hop plant, it becomes both a male and a female.
Hermaphrodite.
Yeah, hermaphrodite, and you gotta
Same.
destroy it. The same.
So it'll have cones and flowers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stress it out.
How do you stress
it
it
out.
out?
I don't know.
Make
Yell
it
at
work
it.
too
I don't
hard.
know.
You yell at it.
Make it
You're
work
a
overtime.
bad
Yell at it.
hop
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You didn't produce enough this year. I'm sick of you.
You must produce more.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like my hop vines were pretty stressed this past year. I have chickens, and I moved them. It was their second year, and I moved them, and nothing will touch the vines except for Japanese beetles And chickens.
And the chickens just laugh all day long. All they do is laugh.
Yeah. And they would, like, I would go out there and I'd catch them. But, so, like, they stripped down, like, a whole, like, section of like, all the vines I had. And I didn't see any flowers. So I have to wonder, like, what do you have to do to, like, really...
I don't know.
How much you have to do to stress them out in order for
because
that
I had
to
13 chickens going at those things.
Yeah, that sounds pretty
It was just
stressful.
me out.
I don't know. Maybe they really, really like chickens.
I don't know. I think the only, like, maybe they just forgave the chickens because the chickens would also poop all over the place around them. So I'm like, haha, we're stealing your leaves, but we're also fertilizing you.
Maybe they were like very forgiving.
They have a different idea of poop than I do.
I'm curious. I did a science experiment once with 2 flower plants separate in separate containers where I put music. I had headphones and I put it right on the container hooked up to an iPod and I played music from seed, and one that had nothing. And I swear the one that had the music grew. It sprouted first and it grew twice as tall and full and was way better. Yeah. So maybe hot plants.
Yes, you were culturally enriching it.
Yeah.
It was more well-rounded.
So you should go sing. Hush the chickens and go sing.
Yeah, I don't know. You'll have to talk to Ryan and the Hop Yard guys because he very clearly said, like, and it could happen to one of them. In the whole field, it can just, like, one.
I know they can happen while they're just, like, growing. Yeah. And I do know, like, if that happens, because then you'll start getting, like, seeds and stuff, which you don't want.
Right, and so you have to, like...
So do people tiptoe through the fields when they're...
I don't know. They had sheep that kept jumping out of the fence. That would stress me out. And they weren't tiptoeing.
Tiptoeing down the rows.
Yeah.
The sheep were not doing that. They were yelling so loudly.
I would love to see tiptoeing sheep. So. Oh my gosh,
that would be great.
That would be.
Yes, I'm a hop therapist.
I'm here to help your hops talk about their problems so they don't become hermaphrodites. Where can
oh my
I
god,
start?
that's a great idea.
Right?
Oh my gosh,
you could make a fortune. Hop therapy.
We should go to Gorham
then,
or wherever that is.
Okay, caller, you're on the air.
Yeah,
we'll have a hop therapy radio show.
Well, you're not saying much, but I'm assuming by your lack of talking that.
I think it all comes down to
stressed out.
It all comes down to your mother.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. Did she yell at you a lot when you were younger?
You just don't understand your hops.
Yeah. Good Lord.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
That was a lot sweeter, yes.
Yes, a lot sweeter.
Out of this rabbit hole and back into the beer. Yeah, it was a lot sweeter.
Darker in color, more of an orange.
Yes.
Which is very appropriate for style. Vienna and Munich are kind of similar malts, and they tend to lend a similar color profile. Yeah, it's a really good execution of style.
That sweetness, just that malt backbone, just that particular malt. And
hops are there, but they're restrained.
I read a ridiculous thing about, like, the 16...
That's the stress.
The 16 people you'll see at a beer fest. And one of them is, like, they're always talking about mouthfeel. But I'm going to talk about mouthfeel for just a second. This one,
so you're one of the people.
I am. But I don't do it about every beer. I haven't talked about it yet. Right? So that's good. But this one, it felt a lot thicker. Like in my...
Definitely. More viscous.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Viscous.
It's a great word.
It is. I think you said it on the last episode, too. I think it's just going to be like, guess what? Tom's on viscous.
Yeah. That's the sound of viscous.
It's
going to be really
thicker.
loud.
It's definitely thicker.
Apologize.
It's definitely,
yeah. All right. Do you want to...
another one?
Yeah.
We're also doing Baltic Porter in cans, too. Just so you know.
Just to throw that out there.
Which is, again, a lager. We should have done some of that.
There you go.
We should have just done broad lagers.
Just broad lagers. That's
broad
it.
lagers.
Brog?
Broad.
No, broad. Like
B-R-A with umlaut and a G?
Yeah, all the women.
It's a brag lager.
That was really good.
And another dialect.
That's the beer bench.
So this one, funny enough, we went, this is the one that said hell, and this is the one that I was like, maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong this whole time. But Heidi and I went to the same place.
Sure.
Went to the beer cellar on Forest Ave. Which, if you're in Portland,
great spot.
Great
out.
So good.
So good, yeah. For all of your beer, wine, and cider needs. Anyways, this is what they said was like a very typical, traditional hell beer.
It was the only one.
Who's it from?
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
What's the brewery?
I don't know. I can't read. I can read, but I can't read.
They do
It's a Bomberger.
They do a couple of
yeah,
great
yeah. This is
beers.
Mars. This is
I have
this
Mars.
is definitely
I think, yeah. I have
Yeah.
Mars over there.
Bomberger.
interesting. This is
Mars
because
is
I
great.
believe that this is the straight one. Sorry, I missed the other. So these guys typically, I mean, especially in Bamberg, they're known for mostly Rauch beers, smoky beers,
Oh yeah, we've talked about those. The red.
and this is a straight one.
That is the biggest water bottle. Does that fit in your car? Little.
Yeah, I drive like a really ridiculous, kind of over the top twisted Jeep. So yes, it does fit. I don't drive a clown car, so it does fit in it. It holds a liter and a half, and
If
it
you did
keeps
that,
things
we'd have to
hot
go
or
on the-
cold for 40 hours. Thank you for asking. It's from REI.
REI, my little, I spent thousands of dollars there as a child.
It's super
True story.
obnoxious and like really over the top, but it's pretty great.
Hey, maybe they'll sponsor you.
Probably not.
REI. Where you get
I
all
tried
your
really
big water
hard
bottles.
for you. I mentioned that how
Yeah.
great it was.
It
how
was
great
great.
REI is.
Yeah, they are
Put a
wonderful.
climbing wall.
REI has a climbing wall.
Where I grew up.
Oh. So
You had some?
I will give you. Yeah, it is.
Like it right off the bat. But
So we're back
now
into
it's
the hell
gone.
category. I should have just saved my happy hell for this.
We should drink this in the basement.
So it's literally called hell. And then you want me to go down into a basement.
No, that's not skunk though. That's sweet. That is sweet.
Before we move on, I just want to skip back to the water bottle for just a second and say that Yeti makes some really good stuff. If you ever go on vacation to a tropical island,
That's
I won't be drinking the water.
no. Right, so bring your Yetis. And then you can just pour all of your stuff and then take it onto the beach and then it stays cold and it's great. That's just a
Genius.
programming note.
What about the umbrella? Does that go in there too?
If you really feel it's necessary.
Then a pocket, you could
course
like
it's
make a little
necessary.
pocket for the umbrellas.
Yeah.
Good
Just
idea.
like,
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
you
little
could put
duct
like a
tape,
little-
little one, like, yeah.
Anyway,
Back
like
to
that
hell.
squirrel thing.
So hell.
Been there, done that.
This is a hell beer as well.
This is a hell beer from Mars.
From Mars. This is
It's a hell beer from Mars.
Welcome to the
That's not a brewery, though.
Intergalactic
Intergalactic hell.
podcast.
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take it
yeah,
out.
it's
This
good.
evening, we're heading across
have
the
a
solar
beer that
system
we
to
call
Mars, where they're brewing a hell beer.
Oh, that makes me think of Epcot. Can you imagine how awesome it would be if there was like a
Hell?
beer
Beer Epcot? There is
tour?
beer at Epcot.
No, like a beer tour of like the intergalactic.
What if there was
like,
an underground?
There's like you can
Intergalactic
drink
beer
around
tours?
the world, but you can also drink
Call Zach and Don. I'm sure we
across
can
the
get an
universe.
intergalactic
Are we
beer
talking
tour.
about
They'll take
pretend
us.
or real
like-
life right
yeah.
now?
The bus.
Let me shut the Wi-Fi
Half
off and
and
turn on
half.
the black lights.
No, you're
We'll
talking
have an
about bringing
intergalactic
beer
tour.
and traveling
Mars.
because I'm pretty sure you can't probably find beer intergalactically.
You
I'm
probably
sure
can't.
they've got something.
There's water. If
I'm
there's
sure
water,
they've
we
got
can make
something.
beer, right?
There's frozen water on Mars. We can colonize it and start growing hops. I bet the soil's great.
Okay. All
Of
right.
course.
This
No stress. There's no people to
That's
bother
right.
them.
That's
Yeah.
true. Those hot plants would be just fine. They don't need your therapy lessons.
Although there's that movie that's out where they found the thing on Mars and then it like kills people.
That's
I
pretty
haven't seen it.
stressful.
I've only seen the preview, so I could be way
They
off
grow
base.
potatoes. Right? It's Matt Damon.
I think there's a
or
few-
something,
No,
isn't
there's
there?
That's
that
Idaho.
one where
Ben Affleck, or who
there's
was
like
it?
previews
It was
out for it. That
Matt
was
Damon.
that was the Matt Damon one. He does grow potatoes. But
Out of his
that's
own
not the one I'm talking about.
feces.
There's like one.
I would have grown
It's
barley.
fertilizer, Amanda.
Except if it
Oh,
comes out of your
watch
own.
this segue plug. Ready? Right
Ready,
here.
go.
Potatoes. We just released a session IPA from Bennett Horn
Potatoes.
called Wheat and Potatoes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Curious.
Maine red wheat, potatoes. It's exclusively Citra hopped. It just got released. We have some cans at the brewery. We did not release the cans out into the market. There is draft available, though. It's fantastic. The wheat and potatoes just really add some haze, a little bit, some fermentable sugars, a little bit of body mouthfeel. Really, really bright, citrusy. So
What's the ABV
if you
on
see
that?
it, it's 4.1%. If you see it, consume it.
I gotta tell you, Maine's really good at the whole like use potatoes where you don't think they should be used kind of thing, like in beer and donuts,
Donuts.
Yeah.
All baked
gin.
good.
You know.
Gin.
Yeah. That was what I was
Gin?
gonna say.
All right, so that was my plug.
Good job.
Yeah.
That was a good job.
I'll let your bosses know you're doing a really great job.
I saw an opportunity and I seized it.
Good. You probably did a good job for our listeners because...
Although Ron loses for not coming tonight. Baby.
Ron shaved his beard. Have you heard this yet?
Ron shaved his beard into a mustache at first.
Why he didn't
Oh, God, that's
into
horrifying.
a handlebar mustache at first. And then I think he got a few too many comments about it. And then
Yeah,
the
like
next
is
day
he
was
gonna go
gone.
steal small children?
Yeah.
Exactly. Can you picture him with a mustache?
No.
No.
Sorry, Ron.
Sorry, Ron.
Yeah,
Love you,
and
but
then
But no.
Shout out to Ron.
driving a van.
shout out to Ron.
Shout out to Ron.
Shout out to Ron for not telling me, Tom, you were saying you were tired on the way up. I was like running around this whole place because all he told me was door 4 and no other information.
Right.
So, yeah.
It's only like 20,000 square feet on the top floor.
Dude, you work in a mill.
So
Yeah.
thanks, Ron.
Okay, back to the beer. While you guys were talking, I stopped talking because I wanted to do some experimenting over here. Because I tried the... I wouldn't quite go that far quite yet.
Things are about to explode.
But, Bomberger, thank you, because...
Yeah, it's a Bamberg.
Yeah.
Bamberg sounds like something you would do to someone you
It's a
didn't like.
Bamberg.
I'm gonna Bamberg you.
No, I was going to call it...
We have beer in Bamberg, only ours is better.
I was going to call it Bamberger.
It's not as bad as Heidelberger, which is what my parents called me growing up. So.
Really? I use a lot of malt from... can't
Malt?
talk. I use a lot of malt from Heidelberg.
Heidelberg.
Best malt.
Heidelberger.
Best malt.
Yeah.
All right, beer. So...
Yeah, but anyways, it's Bamberger.
Oh, beer. Yeah.
It's so good.
So they taste very similar. Like,
Which two?
your help. I poured myself some more of yours.
Oh.
And
Help yourself, why don't you?
it's
This
my
is why
show.
this is out of control.
And I poured a little bit more of theirs, and yours is a lot clearer. But the
Nice.
flavors are very similar.
Really?
So-
I haven't
Wait,
done a
as
side
what,
by each. I
this?
should do one. Actually,
The Mars?
Yeah, the Mars.
What? No.
The Mars Hell. The Hell
Give
from
me your
Mars.
glasses.
The hell from Mars.
This is his, and this is Mars?
I think so.
Yes. No.
I think
Yeah,
the
there's-
no.
There's a similarity, but
There's like a few
I haven't had a
similarities, but,
chance
like the
to-
noses are so
the
different.
noses are totally different. And I think the
My
Mars
nose
has more
is
of
plugged.
a
Does that change
cracker.
things?
More of a cracker.
This is a dessert cracker, and his is a cracker.
Yeah, this is like a sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
really
got the
sweet. The
honey,
Mars
like
is
a
really sweet.
Like a
It's like-
very.
Oh, it does
very
smell
much
different.
like a
box
like a
of
kind
Breton
of like
mixed crackers.
super malty.
This is
kind
more
of
like,
honeyed
ooh,
nose.
you know those like square oat cereals with a little hole in the middle?
Oh my god!
There's
when
a
I
hole
was a
in the
little
middle?
kid, I got used to get so excited when my mom would buy those for me. I would like request them specifically, but I always thought it looked like a cat food. So I'd always be like, "Can you buy me the cereal
like cat
that
food.
looks like cat
What
food?"
cereal is? What is this?
Is it like Cracklin Oat Bran or something like that?
Yeah, it's something
Ooh,
like that.
oh
It's
yeah,
like a
that's
little
delicious.
it's like a square. It's like a square Cheerio, and it's like basically
Squareo.
just a pure
Squareo.
square. It's a Squareo. They're really good, but that is a
We
that's a
should
good
have brought some.
kind of a
pair.
good-
Okay. Now that I'm like, smell it, I'm like,
Yeah,
No,
definitely.
there's some similarities. But
Yeah,
they're-
It's more noticeable on the nose than it is
the
flavored,
nose,
but
yeah. I think this was a very, even though it may not have seemed it on the outside, I feel like I know a lot more about this kind of like family of style
The
here.
light lager.
Yeah, the light lager.
It's misunderstood, man.
I really just keep thinking about the Squareos though. This one.
Either that or you're more confused than you were before.
Well, if we
That might be it too.
Should make a Squareos
open
beer.
another one.
Yeah, you should.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But can you call it Squareos?
Just like bran, like oat bran. You could definitely brew with it. Oat bran plus sugar.
Grape
pressed
nuts.
at high pressure. Yeah, exactly. Grape nuts.
Yeah.
When people come into the brewery and they're like, "Oh my god, it smells so good."
Grape nuts when they've been sitting in the milk for a little bit and they've expanded.
When I
They
was a
get that
kid, my mom
sweet-
would like put them in the microwave, like make a hot cereal for me, like hot grape nuts.
I never
Hot
got
nuts.
into grape nuts.
hot nuts.
Hot nuts, top of the east.
Hot nuts.
Top of the
Hot
east, hot nuts.
I've
That's
never
pretty
been to the
popular
top
where
of
I'm
the
from.
I've
east.
never been to the top of the east. It's an
I
awesome
haven't
spot.
either. We should go on a girl date.
It's a great spot.
All right, I'll wait till I don't have a cold.
It's
okay.
beautiful. Go while it's daylight. You can see the islands.
It is really pretty.
And they have hot nuts.
You can see the island.
They do. It's their bar snacks are warm nuts.
See, I have a hard time with all bar food because I fear that other people have touched it and so many people.
Small children.
They are disgusting.
You can't be afraid of germs. I watched my spawn blow into another child's mouth the other day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, and then another kid did it back. It was horrifying.
What was that? What was the scenario?
See the things
where
that
they were
adults
just
do to
blowing-
each other.
We're excusing that. They were just standing in the cafeteria having a conversation, then they start blowing in each other's mouths, like kids do.
You know what's fun? My kids and I used to talk into each other's mouths. That's weird.
Yeah.
Just saying. Okay.
You know how they always talk about, you can gain weight by eating off of your kids' plates? That's a big thing for parents? No, that is not where my love handles come from.
No.
Those kids are nasty. I am not touching anything they've ever touched, ever.
I would never.
Ever.
It's disgusting.
They're so gross. My oldest came into the kitchen and she's like, look, and she's got stuff. She was so proud of herself because her face was covered in mucus. And I was like, oh my God, you're gross, go away.
So if you're scared of bar food, what about, there was a club in Idaho where I'm from that had a bar in the bathroom.
Wait, what?
Bar in the bathroom.
Yeah, there was a bar in the bathroom. And so you could go
is the beer
in, throw
coming out
up,
of the
go
toilet?
pee, get your hands washed by some woman, go to the bar.
They washed your hands
Go
for
wash
you?
your hands.
Oh, there
for
was
you?
a few women that worked there, and they would help you.
I have a
and
lot
they
of
would
questions.
Give you
So
gum.
this was a bar, but it also had another bar in the
But
bathroom.
it's a
Yeah,
bar
it was
where
it was a nightclub, and then in the bathroom, the women's bathroom, there was a bar, so you
It's
could get more
so
drinks
you
and
couldn't,
there were couches.
you couldn't possibly exit.
So I could
and
just
get
go
a drink.
hang out in the bar
Do you know how many
and
boyfriends were,
avoid harassment by hanging out in the lady bathroom bar.
Well, then why would you go to the club in the first place?
For the lady bathroom
hang
bar,
out in the lady
obviously. Someone
where
washes
it's
my
like,
hands
enough
for
is
me.
Yeah.
This reminds me of the Starbucks joke about there being a Starbucks inside the Starbucks bathroom. That's what it sounds like to me.
Can I identify as a woman and go to the ladies' bathroom
Yep.
bar?
Well, there was a gay man
I
working
feel like
the
they're
bar.
going to call you out on that.
So I guess it depends.
Yeah.
Depends on your behavior.
I'm still a
put a
little
wig on
confused
and
and
a
not
dress.
entirely sure. I'm
Is there like a
convinced.
website I can look this bar up?
Me too.
What is the name of this?
Blue. No, is that here? Blue. China blue? I don't know. This was 10 years ago. I'm old now.
All right, Justin, you need to go figure out where this is
Justin, I love you.
and add it to the show notes along with clarification on Tom's joke. Thank you very much.
What
Long
else
time
pants you
listener,
wearing?
first time caller. Oh no.
You got- you
All
got
right,
one.
you guys, it is completely off
I
the
was ready to hear
rails. Thank you so much for listening to us for as long as you have. If you need any help with your hops and need some therapists, I've got some people's phone numbers now you can call. If you need some really clear Hell's beer, make sure that you talk to Tom from Dirigo. If you need some
Pills.
Unfiltered
Dr.
pills.
Sean.
Yeah.
Sean's got
Need
your-
some
Sean's got your
beer,
You're not-
come to Portland, Maine.
just
Yeah.
Biddeford,
Yeah.
Portland. If you need some scary ghost
Greater
stories
Or beer.
or beer,
Come hang out in the mill.
come hang out in the mill. Yeah, there's just a lot of good things.
You
Come
never want to
visit.
be found again.
Come
check
visit.
out
We
the
should know
email.
you've been double fisting
Hey.
for like
I don't do
15
anything with
minutes
bodies.
now.
I have. There has not been a lot in here. And for all of your black light, vibrant colored picture needs, look up Heidi on her non-existent website that she doesn't have yet. But you're working on it, right?
Or if you need beer art,
Where should they get a hold of
I'm gonna
you?
leave it right there.
Nobody can
You
find
can
you.
hold me. Right now. We're right here.
All right. Well, thank you so much to everybody for coming, and cheers to all of you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
A giant thank you to all of the folks that swung into the mill and joined me for some beers. If an event like this interests you, you are going to want to check out the Beer Tasters Collective that Heidi is putting together. I might be helping a little bit. Check out our show notes for links to the Beer Tasters Collective, all of our guests, and to see if Justin was able to help educate me on the references that I missed by going to greatbeeradventure.com/podcast. Next week, we check in at Dead Lizard Brewing Company. Until then, get out there and try something new. Chat soon, friend.